So what's going on, guys? We got to go over this crazy story where this guy lost his 150K a year job to AI, and maybe this is coming down the pipeline for the rest of us. Maybe we don't know, but this is very important news that we need to worry about. So, software engineer lost his 150K a year job to AI. He's been rejected from 800 jobs and forced to DoorDash and live in a trailer to make ends meet. Now, granted, if you're a software engineer and you can't find a job, that speaks a lot about how bad the job market is. And tech has been losing jobs left and right all the time recently anyway. So this is insane, guys. Like, is AI really going to be that devastating? Let's further read. Okay, Anthropic CEO Dario, I don't even know how to say that, has predicted that AI will be doing all coding tasks by next year. Guys, that is monumental. So you're saying that software engineer, their degrees mean absolutely nothing, just overnight. So if you guys are in college, you might need to pivot. But an existential crisis is already hitting some software engineers. One man who lost his job last year has had to turn to living in an RV trailer, door dashing and selling his household items on eBay to make ends meet, as his once 150K salary has turned to dust. Tech layoffs were nothing new for Sean K. That's the guy. The software engineer first lost his job after the 2008 financial crisis and then again during the pandemic. But on both occasions, he is back on his feet just a few months later. That's glad he's bouncing back. But I mean, golly, like, you lost your job in '08 during that kind of housing crisis. And then, the pandemic, like, that's crazy. However, when Kay was given the pink slip last April, he quickly realized this time was different. AI's revolution of the tech industry was playing out right in front of him. Despite having 2 decades of experience and a computer science degree. So dang, we can't even really recommend computer science degrees anymore. People are always saying, that's the best thing to get, cybersecurity, all these things to get. But I mean, if AI is just going to take it and you're going to get in all of that debt for no reason, then like, the times are changing so quickly. Innovation is happening so quickly, guys. Like, by the time you guys get out of college and by the time you guys work for a few years, something would have already switched. And, now you got to pivot jobs like that. Those decades, those years of people saying that, you're going to work a job for 30 years, the same job for 30 years. It's just nonsense at this point. He's landed fewer than 10 interviews from 800 applications he sent out. Now, granted, he could be doing something wrong. He could be an unruly employee and somebody doxed him behind the scenes. But, we're just going to take this at face value. But this is absolutely insane. And, we look on TikTok, we see people constantly complaining about finding jobs. So this is not out of the ordinary right now. People are complaining you can't find a place to live. You're getting priced out as we speak, guys. So you're gonna have to start something. Worse yet, some of those few interviews have been with an AI agent instead of a human. Wow. So now we're not only doing ATS, which is pretty much an AI tracking, where they filter through the resumes a lot faster. They're also having interviews with AI agents to weed through you guys faster. Crazy. We'll probably have cold customer service people being AI on the phone as well coming shortly. I feel super invisible. Wow. Kay tells Fortune. I feel unseen. I feel like I'm filtered out before a human is even in the chain. Wow. That's one hell of a statement, guys. I feel super invisible. Some of you guys feel invisible to women. This guy saying he feels invisible in the job market. I feel unseen. I feel filtered out before a human even is in the chain, meaning that they're going to filter through AI before you have any interaction with a human being. And these employers have unrealistic expectations, saying that you need to have years of experience on an entry level position. It's absolutely insane. The job market is probably broken. Not saying that you guys can't get a job, not saying that it's terrible for everybody, but there's something to be said about all these different content creators coming out and talking about these issues with the economy. People can't find jobs. This is a legitimate issue in America, and it's not being fixed by any of our politicians, unfortunately, which is why it's hard to trust the left or the right. And while fears about AI replacing jobs have been around for years, the 42-year-old thinks his experience is only likely the beginning of a social and economic disaster tidal wave. Yeah, the great displacement is already well underway. Whoa, this is heavy, guys. This is heavy. He said the great displacement is already here and it's underway. Guys, I keep hearing these same sentiments about 2030, 2030, 2030, 2030. Guys, if you don't have pivoted and found a different career or made your money or found a good place to live or whatnot, 2030 is something, bro. I don't want to believe it, but you know, this is crazy. This kind of stuff makes you cynical. Now, granted, not a lot of people are, coming out with these same things, but let's continue a little bit longer. Making ends meet with DoorDash, he says it's a fate coming for basically everyone. Kay's last job was working at a company focused on the metaverse, an area that was predicted to be the next great thing, only to be overshadowed in part by the rise of Chat GBT. Now living in a small RV trailer in central New York with no lead, probably get out of New York, probably. But I mean, New York should be great for jobs, but most of the tech is on the west side, California, um, with no lead on a new tech job. Kay's had to return to creative strategies to make ends meet and try to replace a fraction of his former 150K salary. And so I don't know what kind of part of New York that is. You guys let me know in the comment section. But New York is, even if he was making 150K, that's not that much money. Excuse me. In between searching incessantly for new jobs, checking his empty email inbox, and researching for the latest AI news, he delivers DoorDash orders like Buffalo Wild Wings to a local Holiday Inn and sells random household items on eBay, like an old laptop. In total, it adds to a few $100. Also, he's considered going back to school for a tech certificate or even a trucking license, but both were scratched off his list due to his hefty financial barrier to entry. Yeah, and I mean, trucking isn't what it used to be. I mean, we're just basically transporting what people are buying, and people aren't buying a whole lot. So you guys are going to get in, depending on what kind of company you get into. Unless you're going to drive the nights, you're going to be over road. Like, it's not as busy as you think it is. And yeah, it's a good job and it'll get you some money back in your account. But um, man, it's kind of hard to go from 150K a year being a tech guy to being a CDL truck driver. Uh, and I don't know what kind of certificate he's trying to get, but it's a pretty hefty amount. May shock K's reality may shock some, considering that the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics has recently labeled software engineers one of the fastest growing fields, but stories like his may soon become all more common. Earlier this year, CEO Anthropic Dario predicted that more of the software jobs will go by the wayside by September. He said AI will be writing 90% of code more over in 12 months. We may be in a world where AI is writing essentially all the code, probably. In 2004, over 150,000 tech workers lost their job. And so far in 2025, that number has reached over 50,000. It's coming for basically everyone in due time, and we are already overdue for proposing any real solution in society for heading off the worst of these effects. The discussion of AI job replacement in the mainstream is still viewed as something coming in the vague future rather than something that's already underway. I'll read this, and this is a good place to end this video. If AI really legitimately can do a better job than me, I'm not going to sit here and feel bad about it. Oh, it replaced me. It doesn't have the human touch. Facts. Critical thinking is still a thing. So I know there was a lot of reading, and a lot of people don't want to hear reading, but for the parts you did hear, hopefully it was entertaining. Hopefully you guys did get something new out of this, and maybe this information caused you to pivot it potentially, because things are changing rapidly, and what the jobs today are not the jobs for tomorrow, guys. And that's just the unfortunate reality. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, comment your thoughts, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Peace.